Fulmer is the marketing manager for C&T Publishing, maker of how-to books and products for quilting, fiber arts, and mixed media. Lisa is the owner of Lisa Liza Lou Designs, selling her own work and a variety of unique art and craft supplies online and at shows. And she is also one of the coolest party girls at the Pajama Party Live events right here on the Cool2Craft channel on Wednesday nights. As a matter of fact, the whole show today is a party girl show. Today, Lisa is going to share a fabric collage notebook cover. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, I have Crooked Cam. How are you? Good to see you. This is what I'm doing today. And what I'm using as a foundation is Timtex. Timtex is a stiff interfacing. It starts out white, okay, and it's just a stiff interfacing that's typically used to stabilize things like bags and fabric vases and fabric boxes and bowls. But it's also a really great art surface, and I really enjoy painting it and stitching on it. And then I'm also going to show you a little burning with the textile tool because that's my favorite thing. So, Tiffany, throw up my picture. I'm ready for my close-up. And let's see. What you can do with this is you can either bind it yourself to papers, thanks Tiff, or you can just attach it to an existing notebook cover. So I'm starting with a sheet of Timtex, and the first thing I'm going to do, if you notice, there is a pattern here on the Timtex, and that pattern I created by using this piece of lace as a stencil. And sorry for my camera. And so what's really cool about using a piece of lace like this as a stencil is that you get a little twofer. And as I'm spraying this on the Timtex to get the pattern, I'm also dyeing my lace at the same time. So nothing like being super efficient. So I'm going to lay this down. Let me turn it around. I'm going to lay this down right to the edge. I'm going to take a little paper towel and cover the rest. And I'm going to do a little spritzing. I've got some Memories Mists, but there's all kinds of different brands of spritzers. But this is a little brighter color. This one I used a color called Pale Ale. And for this one, I'm using a color called Iced Coffee. And so, bear with me just a sec. Let me give it a little shaky. And we're going to do a little spritz. Okay. So I want to make sure most of that white is covered. And the big reveal. Oh, beautiful. Turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to cover it. And look how beautiful this lace has become. And I can't watch the chat right now, you guys, so I'm hoping nobody's asking any questions or saying anything too clever. Wait for me. Don't say anything clever until I'm back in the chat room. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the other side. Spritz. I do love the spritz. It's just so flippin' easy, you know? It just makes life so convenient. And it also turns my desk all kinds of beautiful colors. All right, big reveal. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, so let me get rid of my excess here. And look at that. Look at that paper towel. Now, how cool is that? I got to figure out something cool to do with that. That's not getting thrown away. All right. So now I have my design on the sides. Love it. Love it. Love it. And I think what I'm going to do very quickly is I'll probably do a little spritz on the bottom here too, is what I would normally do, but I don't want to spritz it too hard for this demo because I want it to not be too wet. So bear with me while I get rid of my wet paper towels. Okay, so I'm going to let this piece of gorgeous lace that I just dyed at the same time, it's all coordinating, set that aside. So now I'm going to set this aside a little bit so it dries. Now I'm going to think about what I want to layer with. So I've chosen a piece of this really cool crinkly gold paper, that is almost a little bit like fabric, because it's kind of like origami paper, so it's kind of stable, so to speak. It's really soft. And then I've also decided on a piece of fabric that I cut down from a boutique fat quarter, because I like the shade with this. So that's my layering on top. As you'll see, I've got 3 layers on. I've got the gold, I've got a piece of fabric, and then I've got my image. So I'm going to come over here. My iron is turned on. I'm going to really quickly tap my image. I'm going to move the camera just slightly over to the iron. So I've got my image that I printed out on tap, transfer artist paper. I can give you some information on that either. I've got a sheet of Luchador over here because I like the I like how translucent and transparent it is. So I'm just going to press this mermaid image onto my Luchador and hold it for just a second. This is the part that's terribly exciting. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, go to the marketplace. I'm able to peek at the craft at the chat room here while I'm doing this. Okay, so Luchador is a really great foundation to apply tap to because it's just polyester, so it takes the image really nicely. Let's look at the reveal here. Oh, I am just full of fabulous reveals today, I tell you what. Okay, look how beautiful that turned out and how neat the Luchador is. So I'm going to trim that. I'm going to trim it right to the edge. And bear with me a second. I can't talk and cut a straight line at the same time. Let me bend my camera down a little bit. There we go. There we go. And get this trimmed out really nice. And I have this really pretty kind of ethereal looking mermaid that's going to sit on top of my layers. Now this whole technique is inspired by a book called Fabric Art Collage by Rebecca Meyer. It's available all over the place, local craft store, local quilt shop, online. But she does this all this great stuff. So now I've got my layers the way that I like them. And now I'm going to position them the way that I want here. Now what I am going to do a little bit later is I'm actually, now that I see this, I'm not liking the contrast of the white. So I think I'm going to come over this with a spritz of a pale, pale, pale gold, just to kind of tone it down a little bit. All right. But the idea is to start your layering. And so it's just a matter of positioning things the way you like them. So because this is going to cover a steno pad that opens from the top up, I'm kind of situating things sort of vertically and up high like that. So then it's just a matter of playing with all of your layers and deciding what you like. And so and then what I'll do is I'll glue it and then I'll stitch it. So I'm going to leave a little space here and to create a little spot for an embellishment. So I've got a little piece of ribbon that I like, and I've got a piece of gold ribbon that I think I like, and I have this really cute embellishment that I did. It is a gold charm in the shape of a sand dollar, and then on the back I glued this plastic, kind of like a little poker chip embellishment because I liked how it looked peeking out. So I'll probably set that guy right there, and I might even string him through this piece of gold. And then I might play with this a little further. I've got some options here. I might pull out a little piece of green sheer organza ribbon on the top, or I've also got this kind of cute little fuzzy yarn that I might even run on both sides. So it's really just a matter of layering and deciding what you like, and then taking a little bit of glue stick to secure it, and then getting it underneath your sewing machine and stitching it down. And that's what you will end up with when you are done. And then you can just very simply see how I wrapped the ribbon around the back, and I just secured it with a piece of tape, really easy. You can see my stitching around the side. And then I'm just going to, I actually punched this one because I want to bind it myself, but you could very easily just make this the same measurement as an office supply notebook and just glue it down. Like here's one that Rebecca Meyer, the author I was telling you about, here's one that she made for me. And you can see it's just a standard office supply notebook, but she added Timtex all the way around. So that's that. But then I want to show you the burning real quick. Okay. So just 2 seconds here. I'm going to move some things around. So the burning is with this walnut hollow textile tool. Okay, and it has, I chose this little tip here that has kind of a little teardrop shape. Now, this Timtex melts pretty quickly, so you really want to test it and get your touch kind of straightened away, so that, because it's really easy to hold it too long and then just burn it away completely. So can you see how that created a little debossed pattern? And so that's what I'm going to do is now that I've tested it on a blank piece, I'm going to come on my real piece and I'm going to just, now see how, look what I did just there. I hit it too hard and look, I completely notched it. So that was a little boo-boo, but you know what? I'm going to turn it into a design. So you really do want to watch your touch, because it doesn't take much. This textile tool gets pretty hot, and Timtex is just polyester, so it melts pretty quickly. But once you get it to where you like it, you can create this really fun little notched edge and have a lot of fun with the design and have a lot of fun with different tips.